Hello and welcome. Tonight, the president is set to leave for London to join other world leaders at an anti-corruption summit. The Minister of Agriculture calls for the arrest of herdsmen found armed while grazing their cattle. Nigerian Army court-martials another group of officers for various offences, this time at a 2 mechanized division in Ibadan. And a huge wildfire devastates Canada's oil city of Fort McMurray, expected to double in the next 24 hours.
On business news tonight, Enterprise and Investment Council of the Commonwealth announces plans to set up an entrepreneurship support project in Lagos.
And on sports news, Kenyan athletes once again dominate the Okpekpe 10-kilometer road race.
I'm Sulaiman Alede. The president will on Tuesday leave for London to participate in the International Anti-Corruption Summit, which will be held in the British capital on Thursday, May the 12th. Ahead of the summit, the president is billed to deliver a keynote address titled "Why We Must Tackle Corruption Together" at the pre-summit conference of development partners, the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, Transparency International and other civil society groups on Wednesday, May the 11th. The theme of the Anti-Corruption Summit is exposing corruption, tackling corruption, and driving out corruption, which will be the focus of discussion at the plenary sessions. In his address to the summit and interactions with other participating leaders, President Buhari will once again urge the international community to move faster on the dismantling of safe havens for the proceeds of corruption and the return of stolen funds and assets to their countries of origin. President Buhari's delegation to the summit will include the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Alhaji Abu Bakr Malami, and the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ibrahim Magu. Before returning to Abuja on Friday, May the 13th, 2016, the president is expected to have a separate meeting with Prime Minister Cameron to discuss ongoing Nigeria-Britain collaboration in the war against corruption and terrorism, as well as other issues including trade and economic relations between both countries. The Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Ogbe, is asking security officials to arrest armed herdsmen who move about with guns while grazing their cattle. The minister says the arrest of such individuals who violate the nation's law regarding possession of arms and ammunition will be a short-term solution to the recent killings of suspected herdsmen. Chief Ogbe was speaking at a prayer session at the National Christian Center in Abuja, organized by Doma Indigenes from Benue State.
From the north to the south, recent killings by suspected Fulani herdsmen continued to generate debates by various groups asking the government to act. At the National Christian Center in Abuja, natives of Agatu in Benue State, where a recent massacre occurred, gathered to pray for their departed relatives. Aside from the prayer session, the group is asking government to identify those responsible for the killings and also rebuild the affected communities.
I think that there is more to calling these people herdsmen. We should be able to name them properly, that they are not herdsmen as such, because herdsmen are all over the place and they have been with us, they have been going around our place. But this particular group and caliber of herdsmen that we are seeing now are asking us to ask the Nigerian government a special question. Are they herdsmen or terrorists? And if they are terrorists, are they brothers and sisters of the Boko Harams that are around? Are they linked together? And when you catch them, are they all bearing the same form of existence and approach? If everything is flowing together the way we are seeing it now, then it's better for us to begin to speak clearly that this has nothing to do with carrying cows around, because cow has nothing to do with carrying guns.
First and foremost, we have come to God, the author and finisher of our faith, to lay our complaint before him. And as a people, we believe that God will be able to do it. But our demands to government is very simple and apt, that government should act now. The time to stop this carnage and massacre is now. Yes, we have lost over 500 lives, lost over 2,000 buildings that One Idoma initiative have calculated and taken photographs of. But we are saying that let government at this stage begin the process of reconstruction the same way they have done in the Northeast.
At a separate briefing, a group from the East is asking the federal government to stop further killings by herdsmen in the region.
The constant attack on the Igbos by missionaries, religious fundamentalists, and other disgruntled groups must stop. We ask our dear beloved President Muhammad Buhari, a man famed for his integrity and also known to be also a Fulani man, to find a way of appealing to the herdsmen to stop visiting herdsmen on Ndibo.
However, the Minister of Agriculture outside the church service says arrest of herdsmen is a short-term solution to the killings.
Any other weapon, even a pistol, can only be licensed by the president of this country. So whoever is wandering around with an AK-47 is already violating the laws. The Fulanis argue that they are doing so to protect themselves because they too get attacked. Now, two wrongs don't make a right. So the security agencies have been given instructions to deal with this situation, and I think they are doing that. But the ultimate solution is in grasslands. We have to develop ranches and cattle and paddocks, as they do in other countries, as done in Brazil, in the US, even in China and Ethiopia. Grow grass and let these cows stay there and eat, and then their children can go to school and you can give them water and solve this problem, and eventually pass a law stopping the wandering of cattle up and down. That's where we're heading.
An estimated 800 persons were reported killed by the attacks in Agatu in Benue State and Nimbo community in Enugu State in the two recent attacks by suspected herdsmen.
In the meantime, the Benue State government has asked the House of Representatives Committee on Public Safety and Intelligence to visit the scene of the devastations in several councils to enable them legislate from an informed position. Governor Samuel Atom made this request when the committee visited his office in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, on their way to the local councils affected by herdsmen attacks on farming communities.
First of all, Agatu, see things for yourself, and then you will appreciate more our cry and our call for help from good-spirited individuals and governments in other states and at the federal level, and the need for the National Assembly to legislate immediately. Agatu is so pronounced on this issue because it was once hit very badly, and seems to be the most recent. But before then, from 2012, we have remained under sustained attack by herdsmen in Benue State. And other local governments that are equally affected, Taka, Guma local government, Buruku local government, Makurdi local government, Kwande local government.
With the incessant attack of farmers and villages by herdsmen in different states of Nigeria, many citizens have asked the government to prioritize the issue and implement solution. Apart from rejecting the proposed National Grazing Reserve Bill, a section of the country say herdsmen should find ways to feed their cattle without infringing on the rights of the farmers. Our correspondent, Inni Thompson, reports.
Wailings and mourning from individuals nursing both physical and emotional injuries as a result of clashes between cattle breeders and farmers from many states of Nigeria, including Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, and unexpectedly from Enugu State in southeast Nigeria. A relationship which used to be cordial has now turned sour Many say it's because population has grown over the years and there's less land available to use for both cattle rearing, practiced more in the northern part of the country, and farming, which is a lifestyle of many southerners in the rural areas.
Nigeria is a diversified country with multiplicity of interest. Diversity in terms of religion, in terms of politics and all that. That means that we need to find a way of tolerating each other.
The thought of tolerating each other is far from the mind of many, as fingers are pointed to various regions suspected to have carried out the recent attacks.
They are Fulani men. I saw them. They are Fulani men. I saw them.
I would say they are not Fulani Herdsmen because even if they are Fulani, they are not from Enugu or they are not from the southeast.
A group of Nigerians believe that the solution lies in reaching beyond the cattle rearers and speaking directly to the cattle owners.
There are people who own these cattle. Why not initiate a robust dialogue process involving the stakeholders, including governments, on the way forward?
Another proposed solution is in the National Grazing Reserve Bill, which is sponsored by Senator Zainab Kure. The bill seeks to provide for the establishment and control of national grazing reserves and livestock routes, and would be controlled by a specially formed commission.
We are totally against creating a grazing reserve for a particular set of people who are doing their business. If you do that, other businessmen will come up for you to give them land to also, acquire to do their own business.
Instead of the bill, lawyer Wahab Shitu advocates for the good old negotiation approach.
Why don't you allow people to freely negotiate under the doctrine of offer and acceptance from landowners, and then fence such land, wire such land, and adapt it for grazing purposes in any part of the country.
Presently, many state governments have started forming committees which should encourage communication among cattle rearers, farmers, and residents of the affected areas as a strategy of dousing tension among various parties. Ini Thompson reporting for Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, experts canvass diversification of the economy as a way out of the current economic downturn. Stay with us.